Jalandharnath and the Devout Queen. The Badrakashram had been home to Karnif and his mentor, Jalandhar, for 12 long years. The chill of the mountains, the silence of the valleys, and the austerity of their lives sharpened their spirits. Afterward, Karnif continued his penance on the banks of the Ganga for another 12 years, while Jalandhar chose to wander, seeking the divine in every corner of the land. He became a pilgrim, surviving humbly by selling bales of hay from village to village. Though he possessed immense supernatural powers, he concealed them, choosing to live like a common man. But the gods themselves were drawn to his purity. Agni, the god of fire, spoke to Vayu, the god of wind. "Protect my son. Let the bale of hay he carries remain suspended in the air above his head, so he feels no burden." And so it was. Villagers were astonished to see a man strolling with a bale of hay floating gently above his head, untouched by his hands. Yet despite their awe, Jalandhar lived in a filthy, forsaken spot outside each village, indifferent to praise or fame. One day, Jalandhar arrived at the prosperous town of Helapatan, ruled by King Gopichand. While Gopichand indulged himself in worldly pleasures, his mother, Queen Mainavati, led a life of devotion and virtue. A widow with a heart pure as gold, she found solace in worship and spiritual practice, detached from the riches surrounding her. As Jalandhar walked through the town, his luminous presence drew many eyes, but none were as observant as those of Queen Mainavati. From the palace balcony, she noticed him passing by, a man of serene composure, unbothered by the stares of the crowd, with a bale of hay floating effortlessly above his head. Intrigued, she called for her trusted maid. "Look at that yogi," she said, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "He glows with an inner light. Who is he, and where does he reside?" The maid gazed at Jalandhar and nodded. "Indeed, he seems to be a true saint. I shall find out, my queen." The maid made her inquiries and soon returned with news. "He lives outside the town, in a desolate and filthy place, untouched by wealth or comfort. Such genuine saints are rare." That very night, Queen Mainavati disguised herself, her face hidden beneath a simple veil. Accompanied only by her maid, she ventured into the outskirts of Helapatan. They found Jalandhar seated on the bare ground, deep in meditation, his form emanating a calmness that seemed almost otherworldly. The queen and her maid bowed before him, laying before him a platter of freshly cooked food and ripe fruits. But Jalandhar's eyes remained closed. When he opened them, he simply smiled and gently declined their offering. Mainavati's curiosity deepened. Who was this radiant yogi who rejected comfort and kindness alike? And why had he chosen to live among filth when his aura was pure and divine? The trial of devotion. Despite Jalandhar's serene presence, he remained averse to praise or attention. When Queen Mainavati and her maid bowed before him, offering food and fruits, he flung stones at them, his voice sharp and unforgiving. "Take your gifts and leave," he shouted, his gaze cold and dismissive. But the queen and her maid endured the assault, refusing to retreat. Jalandhar's curiosity stirred. "Who are you? And why have you come here in the dead of night? Why would you seek a fool like me?" Mainavati bowed her head and replied with unwavering resolve. "I am Queen Mainavati, but my title holds no meaning before you. I have come seeking liberation, moksha, from the chains of worldly existence. I have no desire to remain bound by this life." Jalandhar frowned. "You are the royal mother. If anyone sees you here, it will bring dishonor to you and your kingdom. Return to your palace and forget this madness." But Mainavati's determination was unshaken. "I will go," she said, her voice steady, "but I will return, and I will continue to serve you." True to her word, Mainavati returned every night, her maid by her side. She brought him food, cleaned his filthy shelter, and attended to him with the devotion of a disciple. Days melted into weeks, and weeks into months. 6 months passed, yet her dedication only grew stronger. Jalandhar watched her persistence with silent admiration. This woman, he thought, truly seeks the path of renunciation. But before I offer her my guidance, I must test her resolve. That night, he created a vicious black bee through his mystic powers, an illusion crafted to torment and test her patience. The bee buzzed angrily around Mainavati before burrowing into her lap, its stinger tearing into her flesh. Blood seeped through her garment, yet she remained still, her expression serene. Jalandhar pretended to be asleep on her lap, but his senses were keen, observing her endurance. Mainavati did not flinch, cry out, or shift her position. She bore the pain with a stoic calmness that surprised even him. Satisfied, Jalandhar rose, and with a wave of his hand, healed her wound. "Your devotion is true," he said, his voice softened with respect. "You have proven your dedication through pain and patience. You are worthy of the truth you seek." With those words, he bestowed upon her the sacred Yoga Diksha and the powerful Mantrapdesh. The teachings filled her mind like a flood of light, illuminating every corner of her being. In that moment, Mainavati experienced the supreme realization of Advait Brahma, the oneness of all existence. She fell into a deep samadhi, her consciousness merging with the infinite. Jalandhar allowed her to remain in that state for a while before gently bringing her back to awareness. When her eyes opened, they gleamed with newfound clarity and peace. "Have transcended the worldly bonds," Jalandhar said. "You are now a true disciple, a sadhu, and a nivruta yogi." Though she had achieved her own liberation, Mainavati's mind turned to her son. As a mother, and now a seeker of truth, she yearned for him to walk the same path of spiritual awakening. "My guru," she pleaded. "My son Gopichand is lost in the illusions of wealth and power. If only you could guide him toward the truth, it would be the greatest blessing of all." Jalandhar's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. It was true. Awakening another soul was the highest duty of any realized being.